We all deal with intrusive thoughts, especially when we decide to work on ourselves and change our self-concept, our identity. Then we often start noticing them even more, that negative, nagging thought coming up. Many people get frustrated and angry and react because they don't understand that there is a positive side to this. And that's what we are talking about today. I'm also going to talk about how to deal with it, how to erase those intrusive thoughts. But before I get into it, hello everyone. If you're new here, my name is Al. Welcome to my channel. If you're in need of coaching, go to the description box. The information is there. But right now, let's get into today's topic. Today's topic is really important, especially if you have been dealing with intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts, and you have been fighting your mind. In my journey, I had to learn one thing: to go with the flow, to be grateful for everything that comes my way, without judgment, without resistance. Is it always easy? No, I'm not gonna lie, it's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard because we are programmed to act that way, to assign meaning, to see before something happens, to see danger, to see defeat and get prepared to it. It is how our brain functions. So giving this up and releasing control, especially at the beginning, may not be easy for you. But what I learned from experience is that often when you look back and you connect the dots, that moment that you are saying, it could stop you from achieving your goal. It's standing in your way. It is stopping you from being the person that you want to be. Those moments are either pivotal in your victory or they are completely irrelevant. Okay? So this is something that we have to keep in mind. Releasing judgment and going with the flow, with the feeling whatever's happening cannot stop me, is extremely important in you achieving whatever you want to achieve. And it's not much different with intrusive thoughts either. Okay, we may not like them, we may not want them, but there is something that we can learn from them. First of all, you are becoming aware of your pattern of thinking. Before, it was on the driver's seat anyway, but you were not aware of it. Now, you can recognize it because you are aware also of a different reality, of the person that you want to be, and you are noticing there is a gap between the person that I want to be and the person that I'm saying that I am. Becoming aware of how you operate is the first step in changing how you operate. So noticing that that thought is there is an important thing in changing the thought, in working on seeing yourself, seeing the situation in a different way. Now you can deal with it without operating automatically. Also, we should not forget that intrusive thoughts are actually helping us to recognize our core beliefs. So we do have beliefs in our subconscious mind, and many of them we are not aware of, okay? So the thoughts that you are noticing right now is just telling you there is something that creating it. It's not about fighting the thought itself. It's about figuring out what is creating that thought and then changing the belief, the assumption that you have about yourself. You may not like that automatic thought, but it is giving you an opportunity to deal with it and decide whether or not it is suiting you and your life and how you want to experience life from now on. If you did not have the awareness that there is something off there is something that is telling you a different story than the one that you want to believe, how could you change that? If you don't deal with that belief, then you are choosing it. And it is going to still be there, creating circumstances, creating things that validate that belief, that tells you This is who you are, even though it's not who you want to be, okay? So that's where the importance is in you figuring out what is it that is creating those intrusive thoughts. What is it that is creating the reality, the way that I'm seeing, that there is a difference between the person that I want to be and the life that I want to live and the person that I am and the life that I am living. For some people, just repeating an opposite affirmation may be enough. It may be enough because they trust themselves. They have that relationship with themselves that they know, I can count on you. I can count on what you are saying. So basically, you have strengthened that relationship with your inner self. Or maybe you have had enough experience in manifestation with the law of assumption, the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it, okay? Maybe you have seen so much evidence that you can do this that you just turn off that doubt button, okay? But for other people, it may not be enough. It may feel even like a battle, like you are battling yourself. And the reason is because you're not taking an honest look at the belief that is creating that experience. You're not dealing with it. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to take an honest look at who we are, how we believe life works for us, and we are going to figure out what is creating automatically, and we are going to take the steps to change it. And everything starts with you questioning your thoughts. We question positive thoughts all the time. Why not questioning the negative thoughts? They may be very logical, but you have to understand they seem logical because they are coming from your state of consciousness, the state of consciousness that you are inhabiting right now. When you change the way that you see yourself, the way that you perceive the world, it's not going to make sense anymore because it's not your story. So do not focus on what is logical or what seems logical right now. Question everything over and over again and get to the bottom of it, because that in the bottom you are going to find a core belief that is creating whatever you are experiencing and how you are experiencing it. I'm going to give you an example. I was traveling with a friend of mine and she was telling me about her relationship with this guy that she has been dating for almost a year. And she was telling me how sometimes she has that feeling that he is with her just because of her money. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, if she persists in this is exactly what she's going to say. And without mentioning the law of assumption or anything, I just took her through what I would do with myself if that was my thought. I would question and question and question over and over again until I get to my core belief and realize what is really there. So the thought was, he may be with me because of my money. And I asked her, why are you assuming that? And then she told me, because he asked me if I would like to invest in his business. And I looked at her and I asked her, why do you think he would ask you to invest in his business? And she said, maybe because he needs money. And my reply to that was, are there any other reasons why someone would do that? And she told me, yes, probably. And I said, yeah, maybe it's a good investment and he wants you to be a part of it, right? And she was like, yeah, it could be. But other friends of mine told me that this happens, that, some guys just want to be with you because of your money and this and that. And then I told her, but why do you feel like this is who he is? That this is what he's doing? Do you think that all men are this way? And she was like, no, not all men are this way. I know that because I know people that are not this way. And I was like, yeah, so we need to figure out, why do you think that he is this way? And then she told me, he doesn't tell me that he loves me very often. And I need that validation. I need that validation to know that I am loved, to know that I am good enough. So looking at the situation, you can say the core belief is that, first of all, she doesn't feel like she's loved, and secondly, she's not good enough. So in that situation, we talked about the importance of you working on this yourself. You have to feel whole and complete so that you can be open to receiving everything that you want to receive in that relationship. That responsibility is yours. So that was the conversation that we had. But I want you to become aware of one thing. If she had been affirming, he loves me, he loves me, he tells me all the time that he loves me, it would not have worked on the belief, I am not loved and I am not good enough to be loved and chosen for who I am. It would not have worked on that belief. Meaning, that belief would still be there, creating automatically. When you get to the bottom of this, when you figure out what core beliefs you have, then what you do is something that is very simple. You look at that core belief from different sides and you create 3 to 5 affirmations that imply that you are someone who never experienced that, who will never experience it, who is not connected to that reality. It may be one belief, it may be 3 beliefs, okay? So you do the same process with everything. You can then create a mind tape that you're going to listen to during the night or throughout the day. You can affirm, you can script, you can visualize, you can do whatever you want, but you tackle the idea that you have of who you are in this world and how the world reacts to you, how you are treated in this world. Because then you're going to improve how you experience the world. By dealing with the belief, you should start seeing how that negative intrusive thought is not popping up as often. And when it pops up, you can get rid of it really fast because you realize, oh, this is not who I am anymore. This is the old man. It's not me. It's not my reality. My certainty is with who I am, and I am not that. I am more than that, okay? You got this, guys. You can change your self-concept, okay? That's it from me. Thank you so much for being here, and we are going to talk soon. Bye-bye.